I was actually losing hope for seeing the June state of the game anytime soon. I thought honestly with E3 this month that it wouldn't happen until the end of the month, but lo and behold, they've gone and released it today, right on the 20th, and Loki had actually said on the official forums just yesterday or maybe the day before, he tries to get it out around the 20th, and you probably may have seen from my last video that it generally hits around this time, so suffice it to say, I'm pleased that it's out, and I will belabor the point no more. Let's get right to it. Greetings, Terrarians. Welcome to the latest Terraria Community Update on development progress across all active platforms. Summer is really starting to heat up, and so is the news across every platform for Terraria. Read on below to uncover the latest and greatest information around the Terraria universe. And they begin with the home console editions for PS4 and Xbox One, which are developed by Pipeworks, and here's what they had to say, quote, "After the release of 1.3.1, our focus shifted towards patching bugs that emerged after the release of the update. In response, we released 2 sets of hotfixes. You can find more information about what was included in those patches here. The team has also been hard at work on content conversion and some fun features like water distortion. We don't have an ETA yet on when the next content update will be available, but we'll make sure to share additional progress as it becomes available. We also wanted to give a big shout out to Relogic for the announcement of their 1.4 patch. As fans of Terraria, we're as excited as you are to see what comes next." And that is a little lackluster, right? I think, with Pipeworks working on the Switch edition, maybe that's where most of their development team is spending their time. And it's a case of the rich not getting richer, right? The PS4 and Xbox One editions are pretty far along in terms of content, certainly ahead of mobile at least. So this seems definitely to be more of a back burner kind of thing where they're squashing bugs and just doing little tweaks here and there, and then maybe they'll reassess once the Switch version is released. But speaking of the Switch version, they actually carried on, and this is what Pipeworks had to say about Terraria for the Switch. Quote, "Next, let's look at a quick update on Switch. For starters, we wanted to make sure that everyone had a chance to check out the Switch Showcase collection that we put together and posted here on TCF just a little while ago. This is where we'll keep the videos that we have produced around Switch, each showing off a different aspect of Terraria on this platform. Click the link below to give these a view, and I'll include this link in the video description." They continued, "By way of further updates, we've gone through some intense multiplayer testing with Loki and Food Barbarian from Relogic, trying to push the game to its limits. This includes doing things like summoning a bunch of bosses at once, with a trap arena running during a pumpkin moon. Fun times. This effort has been aimed at isolating areas where improvements can be made to performance. Our remaining tasks before launch have been focused on cleaning up the code and resolving feedback sent over by Relogic. Things are very close to being wrapped up, and the game should be in your hands soon. Once we have a definitive date and time for launch, we'll let you know." That is a lot more positive than the PS4 and Xbox One edition update, I have to say. They've really been making great strides. Everything I've seen of the Terraria on Switch edition looks really good, buttery smooth. I can't find any fault with at least the content that they've chosen to show us, and the language here is very, very optimistic. Obviously, we've passed E3, and so the Nintendo E3 Direct had no real mention of the Nintendo Switch version of Terraria, but when they're using language like this, in your hands soon, that's obviously very optimistic, and it's reassuring, and it really seems to assure a fall or at least Christmas release for this game. So stay tuned, maybe they'll release another video or two, but it looks like we're in the home stretch for Switch version of Terraria. Now moving on to what a lot of you are probably waiting to hear about, DR Studios posted an update about Mobile 1.3, and here's what they had to say. "Hello everyone. We had really hoped to have things fully to the beta stage for the lucky few that get selected, and no, those selections have not happened yet, but we'd hoped fully to the beta stage by now, but getting multiplayer into the state that we want in regards to performance and stability has been a trickier path than we had hoped. That said, we are making amazing progress there, and we cannot wait to be able to show off some of what we have in store for that aspect of the game very soon. Changing topics, there have been many questions about how the game now feels on tablet, and recently we've made some major improvements to how the game plays on these larger devices. The biggest challenge when designing a game that is intended to be played on both phones and tablets is the wide variety of screen sizes that are available and that you have to plan for. Tablets, and phones for that matter, can be different shapes, have bigger edges, and then tablets are typically heavier with bulkier covers. With tablets especially, even just how you grip the device or the size of your fingers can definitely impact how comfortable it is to play. While we could have just created a default that works for most and stopped there, and it is certainly important to get the default as good as possible, we decided to go the extra mile here. We hope that you'll be happy to hear that we have already added functionality that will allow you to be able to move some parts of the interface for both tablets and phones. And they showed us kind of a before and after screenshot comparison. First, this one, which is a lovely 3D world. It's obviously just kind of smoke and mirrors 3D effect, but there's some good construction tricks used here by the person who created it. I think in the update they gave credit to Saint 2th, Saint Second. I don't know who that is, but evidently that's the person who created this, and you see the kind of stonework there. It looks really cool. Anyway, the point of all this is that they show these mobile controls right as you can see at the bottom of the screen. And then they give this other example, which is right around the same time. Obviously, it's a little different, but look how the controls have been moved up. So that's just a quick demonstration of at least one of the things you're going to be able to do both on tablets and on phones, which is nice that it's not just tablets. But they carried on, and they had to say this about what we just saw. The images above are intended to just be a very basic display of this functionality. Note how the controls are higher and lower, and not necessarily what we envision as the final version. There's still very much a work in progress. This is still very much a work in progress, and as such, we cannot share too many details until everything all settled and confirmed. I guess they meant is settled and confirmed. But we wanted to let you know that we're taking extra care to make sure that playing on any device will be as comfortable and accessible as possible. That said, we cannot wait to share with you the details and what these changes are, and we hope you stay tuned to hear more. And that was it for the mobile update. So it was a little different than norm, right? Normally we don't really hear too much about tablet updates, but it is kind of nice to see this huge screen that's practically like a computer screen of the tablet mobile version in action, and it looks nice and sharp. Obviously some of that is attributable to the excellent design work by that Saint Second. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but it's really nice building design there. But anyway, it gives a quick demonstration of the kind of ease of use that they're going for here. It almost felt like the details on the controls were a mea culpa for their delaying the beta, right? I'm sure a lot of the people listening right now are a little crestfallen that the beta is confirmed as not having started yet. It's been announced for many weeks now, and it just seems to be dragging on and dragging on. But what's clear is that they do care, and they're doing their best, and they're working hard, and it is somewhat reassuring that while they said it was trickier than they had hoped, they described their progress with the multiplayer performance as amazing. So, we don't know how bad it was to begin with. They are recoding this essentially from scratch, I believe. So they had a clean slate to work with. They're obviously having to hammer out a few more issues than they had expected. So long story short, we're still up in the air as to when the beta will launch. I think it was Tunnel King on the official forums, as I recall, who posted recently that he couldn't say whether or not the beta had started. Well, this puts everything to rest, right? They say that the selections have not happened yet, so if you put your name in the hat for the selective beta, The good news, at least, even though there is a delay, obviously, the good news is you might still get selected. So, it's a kind of a mixed bag, I guess, this month, right? I mean, there was this stuff about the control updates, which kind of is fluff, really. I mean, it's not bad. I know how long we tend to play this game, and you obviously want your hands to be comfortable, but I guess the main takeaway that might give you some hope is the fact that you might still get into the beta. But anyway, I've kind of droned on enough about that. Let's move on to what they said about the PC version of Terraria, and this is what Relogic wrote. Quote, "Phew, what a June so far, right? As you can tell from our teaser and last month's update, the Relogic team have had their hands full getting ready for the big reveal at E3's PC gaming show, Terraria Journey's End. What's that you say? You missed the big news? Well, allow us to correct that right away." And then in the update, they link to the Journey's End teaser trailer, which I'll link to in the description. Certainly, if you've not seen it, you owe it to yourself to load it up. It's pretty cool. Anyway, they carried on. You can also read a ton more about Journey's End on our official announcement post linked here, including a brief, frequently asked questions that should cover your most pressing concerns. Progress on Journey's End is going really well. The team has a ton left to get into the game, get tested, and get just right before releasing it to everyone later this year if all goes to plan. We will look to share more juicy details in the months ahead on the road to launch, so stay tuned. Again, it's kind of like the console versions, right? There's not really much there at all. It's just a reminder of the E3 trailer for Journey's End. I can't really find fault with them this month. I guess you could say they get a pass in June, right? Because they had E3 and they give us this really interesting reveal of what had been 1.3.6, which is now essentially 1.4, and it's officially titled Journey's End. It's the final major content patch for Terraria. So again, I give them a pass this month. They really went all out at E3 and surprised us with this major contents patch. So again, I'll link to that in the video description if you need to see it. So that's all they had for PC. They carried on with a community update, and here's what they had to say there. Quote, "Hello Terrarians, we hope you are ready for an incredible summer. There is so much to go over, so let's just jump right in. We want to start with a shout out to our Twitter for reaching 200,000 followers, our Reddit for reaching 200,000 subscribers, and our Steam for being the second game in history to have over 200,000 reviews while maintaining overwhelmingly positive status. Over the last few months, the Terraria Community Team has been forging some truly majestic creations for everyone to enjoy. We are hyped to announce that the Event Party Girl bot is officially out of beta and available live for the entire Terraria community. With this event bot, we now have official Terraria events daily. We are talking at least one official event 365 days a year. The winners of these events will earn prize points that can be redeemed in our prize shop for Terraria apparel, Steam games, and so much more. If you are looking for more details, then come check out the hashtag events-announcement channel at the Terraria Discord and show us what you got. You also have to test your Terraria knowledge against our trivia guide bot for prizes. And here's a graphic of those bots. It's just, as you might imagine, the trivia guide bot, the prize merchant bot, and the event party girl bot. You know, this is all free. It's really nice of them to do this, and I haven't really explored the prizes that are given out. I know a lot of people are on the Terraria Discord. It's one of the most popular ones on Discord. And so you're going to be up against a fair amount of challengers if you try this, but all the same, it's fun, it's free, and it's good of them to have this, so check it out if you're interested. They carried on with, quote, "The Terraria community is looking to spread across all biomes and languages. There is so much amazing Terraria content created daily, but most of it is in English, leaving those who only speak non-English languages left out. The dream is to have Terraria community hubs in every major language and social network. We are going to begin working with the biggest content creators in Terraria to translate and share their content with the rest of the world across localized networks. We are also looking for Terrarians who are fluent in a second language, who are interested in joining the Terraria Community Team and helping out as a moderator. Furthermore, the Terraria Switch release is right around the corner, and we decided to build out our console moderation teams. We are looking for passionate members of our community who love to help their fellow Terrarians and are interested in becoming community moderators. If this sounds interesting to you, then fill out the application at Terraria Community Team application form and help us build the greatest gaming community in the world. This summer we are planning to roll out some really cool community features, including Terraria University, which is a series of tutorial videos that will help both beginner and expert Terrarians. The Terraria News Network, which is a weekly live Terraria broadcast covering event winners, amazing content, updates, interviews, and so much more. The Epic Battle Dryad Bot, which is a new activity bot so epic it will blow your mind. We will announce further details in a beta soon. Weekly Ask Me Anything. Each week we will give the community the opportunity to chat with one of the Terraria developers or popular content creators. Expect wild questions and hilarious reactions, and so much more. The Terraria community will not be as fun without you, so come join us on this summer adventure. And that's everything they had to say about the community. As I said earlier, it's kind of amazing what they have for free. There's a lot of cool stuff. It's a lot of, I would say, both developer support and also fan support here, right? Because a lot of the people on the Discord and helping out on the forums are just fans like you and I. So, you know, it's good of everyone to kind of make the community a better place. I know it sounds corny and hackneyed, but it is generous of people to do this. And, you know, hats off to those who take time out of their day to just kind of make the Terraria community that much more interesting and active and engaging. So thanks again. Anyway, that's everything for this month's update. So I would say that the mobile update is kind of revealing. At least we kind of learned a bit about the beta, right? And how they're making progress and what was a tougher than expected multiplayer development. We saw a little bit about the tablet controls and I guess phone controls too, which is nice. But we're also frustrated in that it's apparently, as we've said till we're blue in the face, that the mobile 1.3 is taking forever. And maybe in the July update we'll get some juicier information. But I guess the big news still this month is the Journey's End update. Again, I'll include a link to that trailer in the video description. That was the big thing at E3, and it's still really the big thing in this month's update. That's pretty much everything, so thanks for watching if you've stayed this far. I'll obviously keep posting videos. I apologize, it was a little longer than normal between this video and the last video. I've been a little busy. I do have children, so you know they're obviously important. But mainly it was due to a lack of news. So this came out today. I was pleased to see it. I'd been checking a few times today actually, and it came out later than I thought they would post it. But again, that's everything. Check out the video description if you want any of those links. Stay tuned to the channel. I'll be sure to keep posting videos, and I'll see you next time.